Aloha, I'm Larry Carlton. Many of you have probably noticed over the years, I love Hawaii. Played here many times. But the people and the beauty of the island just somehow gets to me, you know? So when I heard about the victims of the Maui wildfires, I thought, what can I do? How can I help in some little way? A masterclass, that's what I can give. So I did a masterclass here in Honolulu, and the proceeds and donations from that masterclass go to the Maui wildfire victims. It came out just great. Lots of guys came. We had a great time talking about music and guitar and careers. Anyway, I wanted you to know what I'm doing, why I did it, and I want to share a few of the video clips from the masterclass. I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you. Thanks to everybody that donated. Aloha.
None of this is planned. This is all about you guys today. Probably this will never happen again with me. So I'm excited because it can be pretty focused on this group as far as later, in a few minutes, what questions you want to ask and what I might be able to enlighten you with from my, let me count, 69 years of playing the guitar.
I'm Nilo.
Nilo?
Nilo, yes. I have a question. Do you ever do chord melody? I hear you do a lot of beautiful melodic soloing, but I don't think I've ever heard you do a chord melody.
Yeah.
And how would you approach a chord melody song? Did Joe Pass teach you something about that?
Yeah, definitely. I've done quite a bit of that in my career. What's your name?
My name is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, first off, I think I can speak for everybody in this room. Thanks for the years of inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm blessed. Thanks, guys.
So you talk about your creative process, like you're writing, for instance, Smiles and Smiles to Go. Was it written on the guitar? Was it written on the piano? What came first, the horse or the carriage, the melody, the rhythm, the harmony?
I had never played it on the guitar until the night we recorded it. So yeah, I wrote it because I like the sound of those tight voicings. So on keyboard, those voicings were it wasn't, it was, I'll do it up here. Piano voicings. So yeah, I wrote it at the keyboard, the whole thing. All right, how long have you been playing?
8 years.
Okay, what kind of thing is you with a teacher?
No, I'm not with a teacher currently.
So you're doing it on your own?
Yeah.
By ear, or you're reading some?
By ear.
Well, cool, man. Who you been listening to that you like to cop from?
I've always liked, of course, you, Robin Ford.
Yeah.
Josh Smith.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of that kind of ring of musicians, Dean Parks. Very thoughtful in their playing,
Exactly.
which I really enjoy.
Going back to Smiles and Smiles,
Yeah.
when you're constructing a solo, harmonically, what are you doing in the beginning? I assume you're trying to expand the harmony as you go along. So could you give us some examples?
Yeah, I'm trying to honor the harmony, of course, but also take chances where I feel that it's appropriate. So with Smiles, because it's got some chord changes, which allows me to use my vocabulary at appropriate times to get interesting and not just stay diatonic.
James,
Hey, James.
thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, man.
Just to build on that issue of the 5-chord and altered, when you encounter a 2-5-1, let's say in C, D minor, G7, C, what goes on in your mind other than maybe playing the melodic minor over the G7? Do you tend to focus on the 2 more, the 5-chord, or the 1, or all equally? How do you approach that?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have an exact answer for that because it depends on what I have set up melodically.
I'm Mark.
Were you on the Facebook yesterday?
Yes. Hi. Question, you mentioned about composition and playing something on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Was that something that you learned before playing the guitar, or was it after? You know, what, can you go through that process? And do you think that it's important for guitarists to have a little bit of background on the keyboards too?
Yeah, the simple answer is yes, but it's not meant for everybody. But yeah, keyboard for me was it inspired me to write because I could hear, oh, that one. Can't make that one on the guitar.
Hi, Bob,
Hey, Bob.
the only bass player here.
Hey, Bob.
So one of the few questions, because I love workshops and stuff, is your approach to the interaction with the bass players.
Yeah.
And did that change when you got to play with your son, Travis?
The very first professional gig that Trav and I played together, he was reading me like a book. There was something about the way he played bass and I played guitar that no one else did exactly that. Can't explain it except his aptitude and his gift for music. But yeah, we come from the same lineage too. But no, something about playing with Travis, with his dad, is just very special. It just does that all together.
Was everything intentional, or were any of those solos that you do that are the iconic solos that we all listen to, was any of them a wonderful accident?
I think as a blanket answer, no, they weren't an accident. Accidental things do happen, obviously, during improvisation. And so I would acknowledge that.
Thank you so much for being here, man. It's just so inspiring, man. My name's Christian. Yeah, you know, one of the many things that I admire about your playing is your rhythmic phrasing. It's just so vocal and melodic. What advice would you give to somebody that or to any guitarist that kind of could get stuck into like an eighth note rut, for lack of a better word? Or could you expand upon that, and or if their own rhythmic lines are kind of starting to feel stale and tried, so maybe if you could give some advice on that.
I get it. Well, if you listen to a singer,
Right.
they don't sing, you know, da-da-da, da-da-da, da, unless they're singing, da-da-da. It's free, it's flowing, it's free. And when we play, we don't have to play. We can play. It becomes what you feel with singers and sax players. Because sax players, in order to initiate the sound, have to blow. So the sound comes out late. If normally, unless they want it to be exactly on. It's not right on the beat. And back phrasing, singers do it all the time. They're relaxed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No, I try to play like a singer.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, thank you.
During the course of your career, at what point was it that you decided you're going to add that extra juice into your guitar playing and really bring out the singing quality of your playing style?
I think some circumstances happened. I was playing with the Crusaders, and those recordings were made with just a Princeton reverb amp, those parts that I played on the records. But when we started doing concerts, live concerts, 2,000 seater or something like that, I really didn't have an amp that I felt like I could express myself with. I was using a twin, and I hated that, trying to find a pedal that would give me some oomph. But a gentleman from the local San Diego music store brought this new amp in that had just come out, and it was a Boogie. Just that wooden single 12, 3, you know. He said, "You want to try it?" And I tried it during sound check, and I bought it.
Such a wonderful blues player. Your feel and everything is just right. What can you talk about as far as expanding beyond the standard blues vocabulary that a beginner would learn? How did you break out into playing things that were a little more sophisticated?
Again, you have to honor the tradition. So I played with keyboard players who we would play more jazz changes, but it was still blues, with the altered to get to the next chord, you know. It gives you an opportunity to use some of your outside notes. Like I say, playing a traditional 12-bar, 16-bar blues, those little outside notes would just sound wrong. It would show that you're not being sensitive to the tune, you know. Sometimes over the years, the guys have commented on my vibrato, and so I've enjoyed sharing how I upped my vibrato. I had never really thought about vibrato. I was a studio player. This would be early 70s, but I had never thought about what that sounded like. It was just something you do. And when Dean Parks came to town, he and I started working together, and he was just such a fine player. And so I asked Dean, because he had this sweet vibrato, I said, "Man, how'd you get that? How can I get that? That's cool." He said, "Here's how I learned my vibrato." He would take a note and bend it in half steps until he could get it at any speed. Which, what that taught you is that vibrato comes from the wrist. I'd never thought about any of this, you guys. I just played. So yeah, we'll bend B to C. The only way to do that is with the wrist. And learned how to play vibrato that was more subtle, more appropriate. So share. Even at the level where I was blessed to be, we were sharing stuff all the time. Yeah. Of course, one of them we will auction off, this one that I'm playing. So I was speaking with Nancy, our coordinator for the whole event here. This guitar that I'm playing today, we will auction. I will sign it.